What's going on? It's your boy MyCraven coming to you with a video going a little different route. I want to do a little illustration. Of course, I have the dog sitting right here, and decided since I went to get my sister's dog, my son been talking about having a dog. What better way to get him acclimated than actually have a dog that he can actually see what it's like to have a dog. But in the process, I thought about something, and I figured, like, let me use the dog for the moment. And currently the dog is in my hands. And with the dog being in my hands, anytime you have to handle that real quick. Anytime you have to have something in your hands, you're handling it. And a lot of times, you hear women say, "You can't handle me." Well, this dog is currently in my hands, and with him being in my hands, he has to trust me. And for the most part, handling is all about trust. And once you trust, that's when submission comes in. So there's a tendency for a lot of women out here to say that a guy can't handle them. That's not the case. And fellas, what you need to understand is, if she's saying that, she's telling you that she's not going to trust you, because she doesn't want to have to let her guard down for you to actually be in her hands. Well, in your hands. She doesn't want you to be in her hands because that makes her vulnerable. So what is she going to do? She's going to put up a fight. Why? Because, again, it's all about trust. And a lot of women just simply don't want to trust a man because there's all these possibilities that's running through their mind, that the possibility of it going wrong, and now they're in a situation to where they don't want to feel vulnerable. So if she's telling you that you can't handle me, that's just a defensive mechanism to keep you from being keep her from being in your hands. Because right now I've been rubbing this dog, and he went from sitting up in my arms, in my hands, and now he's in my lap. He's comfortable. You see that process? He went from being in my hands to now he's laying on my lap. Now, you may not be able to see him all the way because he didn't went down, but he's now in my lap. So he's comfortable now. He can do however he pleases. If he decides he wants to get down, he can do that. But the reality is, he's probably not going to get down. I may have spoke too soon. Well, regardless, he's enjoying himself because I'm actually rubbing him. There's a little few things here and there that may have his attention. But even then, with me having him in my hands, I also have to understand that there are things that's going to be necessary for me to be able to handle the dog. I have to know the dog. I have to learn the dog. I have to then cater to the dog in certain aspects. And the only reason I'm doing that is because there's a benefit for me also involved. If this dog, well, this is a bougie dog, but depending on the dog, be a guard dog, alert dog, a dog you train to do whatever it is that you want them to do. I mean, there are all kinds of dogs out here to do whatever, but we wouldn't say that per se with as far as a woman, but when you know the benefit of what you're trying to actually get, the purpose of having her, then you understand, okay, this is how I'm going to handle. And well, look, the dog, he's actually licking my hand. And that's a whole nother thing within itself, because for the dog who's sitting in my lap, me doing all the rubbing the whole time, the licking is his way of showing his appreciation for what it is I'm doing. So a lot of times people are like, oh, you my love language. Well, you don't. Well, that's not my love language. I need you to do so and so and so. But the dog here showing he's basically showing me his love language and appreciating what it is that I've done. So he decides to lick my hand. But there's an issue when people are like, oh, well, that's not what I need. You're limiting. You want the individual who's now showing you appreciation to give it to you how you want them to give it to you. That doesn't really work that well. That's trying to control the narrative. Well, this is what I need. No, the only reason you think you need that is because somebody else gave it to you. So you felt like you liked it. But now that you've moved on from that other person, which is the dangers of actually jumping from people to people, you now want somebody else to do something that somebody else did with. You wanted what the other person did, because that's technically what's happening here. Your love language is technically some other experience that you had that you enjoyed. Now you want the other person to do it. And then you want them to be the other person. That's the dangers and where that come in. Because the dog is showing me his appreciation by licking me. I would be a fool to turn around and say, oh, no, I don't want you to lick me. That's not how I like to be appreciated. I like to be appreciated in some other kind of way. You want to get down, buddy? Or you hear something? Oh, yeah, I hear it too out there. Lost a little track a little bit, but basically, I'm trying to change the way he shows appreciation. That wouldn't make any sense, knowing that this is his dog. It'd be like, oh no, don't lick my hand. Give me a hug. My love language is I like hugs. Come on, man, that's foolish. Why would I expect the dog to give me a hug when the only other way he's going to show you his main affection is by licking you? Just like with a cat. If it was a cat, the cat would turn around and purr and then rub itself all around you. That's how they show their appreciation. So with human beings, we have a lot of different ways where we can show our appreciation. But, a lot of people tend to want to have it the way they want to have it, as opposed to letting the other person organically show you the love. But with him kind of taking me off a little bit by licking my hand. Again, back to the handling. Because I handled him in such a way, he's now sitting here. He just went from my hands to my lap. Now over here near, old school called it bosom. He's here on my left side in my arm and close to my body. He's comfortable. So as a man, it's really insulting to us, but it's also showing the lack of maturity, because she doesn't want to trust you, than saying that a man can't handle you when we perfectly actually desire to do what it is that we're going to do, because there's a benefit there for us. And we're going to, me per se, I'm going to maximize the benefit I get, the benefit of it being for me. Because there's a benefit here. Even with him here, him being close to me, that's also a sense of, all right, because I give peace is radiating off of me, he now has peace. So now with that combined, it's like, okay, cool, you're good, I'm good. We can just sit here and chill out. Now, if I wasn't sitting here talking, it would be a whole different ballgame. He'd be just sitting here and I'm sitting here. I may fall asleep and he may fall asleep. He may do whatever. But there's a benefit there. Some animals that they are calming animals. Calm dog. I can't think of the actual name I'm trying to think of. But they have different service dogs. One of them would be for calming purposes. But if I was to actually do this dog some kind of harm or hit the dog or whatever the case is, he's not going to, if that's how I handle him, I would not be getting this reaction. Especially if this was more of a guard dog and I actually did certain things, he would more likely try to bite me. So as a man in handling a woman, why would I want to do anything that would be negative to trigger you? That then disrupts my whole peace. As a man, I like my peace. I like my space. I like my comfort. I like it the way it is. For me to turn around and actually do something foolish to disrupt that would be extremely foolish, immature on my part, which then turns around and allows a woman to say, oh, he did this and he did that. Now you disrupted my name. That's not something I want. That's not something that's actually needed for the both of us. It's not. And that's just terrible. So, fellas, understand, man, if she's turning around and saying that you can't handle her, she just simply doesn't want to allow herself to trust you. It's just really that simple. Because anytime you handle something, it's in your hands. And in order for it to be in your hands, especially if it's a living creature, if they stay in your hands, that means they're submitting. And we all know in this day and age, submitting and submission is a terrible word. People automatically start equating that to being a slave, which, yeah, that's a whole nother story. But even with me saying all this stuff that I'm saying, and he's right here, I'm perfectly fine with him moving around. He's not bothering me. I know at some point he's going to need me to do whatever it is that he needs me to do. And whether it's give him his food, take him out, and all that other stuff. Those are necessary things, which it becomes mutual. There's a mutual understanding that's happening. All because once he became in my hands to handle with care, we then learn we then learn to have a mutual understanding between each other. That's how this works. Same thing in regards to relationship. There then becomes a mutual understanding once the handling starts happening. So yeah, and if she's saying you can't handle her, man, just understand and just know she doesn't want to trust you, and she doesn't want to be submissive. And it is not your job to prove that you can handle her. Just let her go about her business. Comes with the territory. Just as well as he comes with the territory looking at myself with all the hair that's shedding. And now for some people like, oh, I messed my clothes up. You got to understand what goes with the territory. Is it worth it? I can easily get the lint brush and get this stuff off. Is it worth it? You have to also understand that once you embark on something, is the reward worth all the little extra things? Because this is something that's really minor. I mean, it may take a couple minutes to get it all off of me, but it'll come off. But with that being said, it's your boy Will MyCraven. Hopefully y'all had a wonderful day. And hopefully you have a wonderful week, and the rest of the year goes by wonderfully. And I'm going to chill out with my man King here. And we're going to have some fun, because I'm sure he going to want to play after this. Yeah, because he like, as much as I like to jump down, I probably prefer you put me down. Is that right, my man? You want me to put you down? Want me to put you down? Want to get down? Well, you going to chill here. Well, anyway, with that being said, it's your boy Will MyCraven. Be easy.